man for Samaba. Kwesi Kwatin, Okupimo, OKFM. Wakasa papa. To say what you say, most MPs do to say Eddie Kennedy Agyapong. No cause campaign moyano. Or say, Torokrana Ajinaniso. So mu ye campaign papa. Obuni abre. Komo so mo hwe a obie no mo botumi agigana si won no. Apo for Kennedy Agyapong. Obie ni hor mo. Nti mo nyina support no mo ye campaign man. No pa sisi enyemo mo asesa. Nti first no ko so mo hwe said politics ni si kosisi no. Na hwe mabunu na abunu na mo nye dwuma ye. Now we share said here a man for so preview government no so de the man afaswa not to say only a Patriotic Japan come to Mobaji Ghana is one. Our chapter even NPP history. If you could force Abra Kufuado and the Baba Umiaso. Wakasa papa. President delegate Montier Asima Kusikwa Tenkaro. Now, Kusikwata so can be more references. Yes, what kind of trasa, David? More diamontian. Now, 31st January 31st, Uncle Traban Kennedy. No more see Ghana Maya. And we remember Castanwa people, me and Kunyakuti. Now, Miss Row, sending first time we picture and so, but more dear subscribe, mammy. Na share more news never here. Name me a domanoso, a 10 beer, me the for 2 more. Osaka.
Osno bebia se ontie sansa nyame aduma come 31st January 2026 delegate amanyoku NPP ma wo mutumi mu omoto aba ebeto aba de yi Frankatini obedu omanim into the 2028 elections na ya bebo enkomo na enkomo ayebo titiriu ene Patriotic Kennedy Agyapong echitafo ne adofo mo send messages no nko far and wide say ene anope on ajachi bia ye bebo campaign on sese ye ne ntote ne hu nyina ho nkomo na ya hye Team Kennedy Agyapong preparations towards 31st January 2026 elections no. Now, mama here na benti we free hotel. Anopay Obika, we are privileged by divinity to have in the studios lawyer Kwesi Kwatin. Oko a Patriotic Kennedy Agyapong campaign mu a. Ona ye kasamafo. Na anopay wade achi bia so. Yes, our guest. Aye no ebo enkomo. Enti osono ba bia ntena so anopay. Sada so na Patriotic Kennedy Agyapong campaign member bia campaign team bia supporter bia dofo yina muntwenhie mo radio ana on social media na yemmo enkomo anopay said they say na efata. All right, my benko studio bi na mene openi Kwesi Kwatin say yenkomo twetwen no ase Era kwaba.
Hey, menua penny mejo so kese pa na maba wo fia yesu ma me ma wa che kese.
Ya achinitum jinchia no so. Connect. Said the mama yehu no. How is the get connected not connecting? And the mafobro for abayeka. Say the beauty is beauty.
Yes.
What saying?
But I say so far, yeah. You Kennedy Agyapong. And then this one didn't also the best of my Ghana. And the ama on the Ghana Eba Pro. I was straight to me. Said you to me in the amount for no one. On only book house on your Rasa class, a baby, so only a sea here near to a handful. omuna tumi ni sha onsem enti tumi no yakwesre wankosra wonsa anya de enka ana wo sre kura so a eno so no eni diso unze delegates no ewo baabi a omu ekoyiba ansa kura so no manfo no nyina so abegya ye de atum enti kwan ne wa wo he delegates a so far wono ye be fa na say 218,000 kura na wono ye be 1.2% of the general voter population, which is about 18 million. And the woman, as I say, ahoden no ejina omo so. The ombeka say enye yi na ne yi. The ombeka so ombetwe wano assign no so no. And also entimi nko. Enti edi obuo kwan so, ahombrase kwan so, kasade kwan so, kasa ho tie kwan so. Ana ye nama Eura Ken edi team ni ma oguso a wo se. So far, why be 11 regions out of 16. I'm so candidates now can 11 regions out of 16. Me no can say there or Eastern region. Say or shall say free Western North. Eko ahafo Bono East. So I know few in almost the northern part of the country. 5 northern regions in our why. Dia no ka hwana ye enkono ana obeye voter ha 10 ana se say owo eastern of eastern nyame pa enchakura next week ebesi no so ordinary beche western but ade so nkono say afinyo no nko ana na mo ton asem no so ho uza Christ bae no onu akira Christ ko evangelism nipa na fire you
sure
nti afi so la say Kennedy animu but afi the good thing say ne ho Kennedy o Christy Christian Agyapong ono so afa regions no so ye nation wide tour no no de ono no dwumadi a wodi no ne ma no ana ekwese na omadi no boa so obommo ani kunu no ochena bi so no ahode no so ba ono so ayede aboa omo ana na nsem so wahu a ya maame honabo are na atoshi this is assembly common fund
sure
ono so atiesi maame na hode ode aba campaign
meeting ka central region
yes so ye dwuma papa so ono we wie central no abaye greater crime greater kro wie
okay
and na me no ka se na chiri kumase okoya asante me kura me join na chiri okoya asante no obeye voter obeye otin so ono so beye some number of regions be the music you wetin my be wotwe kura na de brosa ono so eboa and now you nuclear so free ho ya MPs no says ya agro ne form MPs no so ya check constituencies no so ya dey amomo baby a eyi nanu mihia mia mo fa Dr. KK Sapon so no so kai ho pa o
Dr. KK Sapon
Dr. kai ho
wow
ono so ne me dim on fancy say ya publicly wakanti I'm sure I can repeat it ono so akire mu ano o ma o say ono management team no o focus so baby a o strength ye de ewo nti MPs no so almost agepene na almost ati obo ho agum ewo ba bia ehunu se kana ho de ye de ewo pa almost consolidate na your message ni de say ubusa say me message ni can messages me sign there kra make us say jobs ti enuma ho de wuro nko na obo
no ya beba ni abewura campaign mu pa
yes
but just before maybe sir some false statement be a circulate especially on social media platforms no mame so we 2023-2024
yes
the campaign leading to the flag bearership election no as compared to 2025-2026 dynamics na sentina we are having this crop of personality and enigmatics ibemu wa support Ken in the desire you
no ma be bra sesa eche say sabia bru penifo ka se wo so na so ansa ana hu de mu ye de edu uza bato ne yakobia bebre so wo de hwe Eura Professor Duwa Hebra ono baaye ono ne first time obon homodem pa eso no kra no se party ni si no na president Kofo baaye ono so baaye ono so first time ono so de Professor Duwa Hebra ne ye de ko soro kakra ono kwa de ofa ne fi be 30.2 at the Kobe 39%. So what almost 9% there they account home. And now we share President Kufo also first time also grab a far President Kufo Diano, so the Kobe 45%. And you share in the history Ghana bako sema ye trajectory no as MPP no obia onya kwanya bebia ba up. Em say now no aba ekotu ya ewura Dr. Bawumia de animu na anko ya the graph na de eba fom nti em say dodo na bibira hunu said no say 2028 ne de ye be see ewi ni de even in the spirit of party revival no say the sisa bi ye de eba because wo hwa hu say Ghana ba ko sem no party bi eba onyakonya esum mfie wotwe okay 92 to 2000
sure
and President Rollins oba I send this in your 8 years and akofo so far 2001 so the basic 2008 ono so nya 8 years MPP meboa and 2008 to 2016 so President Mills and President Mahama ono so nya 8 years President Mahama kwra de no qualify say case or sakobi but ono say motwa mo 8 awie mo nya de monko ana yanso ye ba ya President Akufo-Addo so ba ya ono so 8 yesi and wo hwa 2028 ne pa de say kind of crack chere ho pa de nkanya MPP kenuru ye so because wo share the trajectory ni history no say no guide ya and no ne de enkomo no fa pemi gina de ke wo say ka be 2032 ansa na ye de yaba na akoba sa de let's say ye ka say beje 2028 about on de e say ye ko woro NDC for e ka wa ye de e fo mo beti na kanka semu no ye ka so obi awuro bi ka fa obi abeti a na say utimi no just say because kawa ye kawa bi he ni ho ase bi fa nipa beti nti ye no e say de wo ko twa nipa kro nsa na ye de afiri ho no yi kawa no na before beti ma ye sa na utimi no na party for ni bebre hunu say 2028 ni de say ye po bi a obetimi NDC for pa na o hwe de Ghana for ka some de asmesi ba ye beto mo de kan ba ye beto a na onu mu bebre na dwa koye mo say ene ye mfa ken ye de enko na wontimi nkwachi tumi nya de emai ndi ano na media memi nsusuye mu ne madwempomo no akoso nipa bebra ma o ma de a shift from baby anka ne no mu gina na aba because so here anka ne obey 137 MPs ne mu be 99% edi yewura Dr. Bawumia chi government appointees be 6000 you dare not so unkodi ba akofo achi na ohwe constituency executives a constituency chairman bia the DC MMDC 276 nya onom na ye campaign chairman and co-chairman of Dr. Bawumia campaign by na asesa sebi ebru nipa ono kofa ne ship kura ba ya me fa de say ono na de ship ne ba ya fa crew members ate ono kwa ne wajai ship no afri ho ye uka ze ira Dr. Brian Champos no ono so ho bi ono so atwe ne ho so ho omu ne nim de omu ko hu ye omu hu se enye yi say ira Kennedy Agyapong no so ho ono so atwe ne ho ana me former boss Dr. Yo said duchum yes once a soldier always a soldier until I me former aside me current boss ono so no so Madam Arena atwase mu nyina sticker no kwakuku ate no mu nyina nti yem se omu nyina nya that conviction say yes Dr. Bawumia is a fine gentleman what I say just like any of the candidates but when it comes to the conversation say ye probi obetima gi tumi ama MPP in the year 2028 at a time o ha ne nuru ye so dia wono mu nyansa mu de isu se Ghana for say ye the camp ha be de be ntie na ama hwimbre no ni ba bebre hwim aba Kennedy Agyapong side no
nti we do not is it to say Dr. Alhaji Mamadu Bawumia ne ye den sa
oh so say bi o meka so obi on the strength obi on the shortcomings un say Dr. Bawumia no double call what the my scenario be okay 2020 about 23 na sabre ni lead this say 2016 169 seats
sure
and 2020 say ba 148 if the successes are right now okay no 2020 they say about 137 so any normal any this for a hang parliament yes now so okay I remember two scenarios be President Mahama coalition no sabre 2016 na or trail by 1 million votes 2020 a kwan bia yabo electoral commission ma party for nyina 72 hours so make declaration 72 hours so electoral commission kwa make the declaration President Mahama so no election no lose but before that so be bi on be press conference ha on be can be almost a very comfortable lead
sure
ye o gira na now so no ko lead with 148 members of parliament ye kan papa na say won lose election no ema the court to craft yi declare we ye no ema court 9-0 unanimous omoto na asem ne dey etotwene na ni madekondia even though no lose with about 500,000 votes in 2020 assembly America the oye ne say o election hunim de
ɛna wakɔ bi akyɛ ɛna politics wayɛ akyɛ na onim strategy wɔ mu ohun sɛ ɔno de wɔ lose all right but ɛwɔ sɛ ogyina mu ɛma ne manfoɔ no na MPs no otimi yɛ de protect ɔmo nti yɛn de wɔn kɔgye kora anyɛ de ɛntumu ntɛm kɔpɛn sɛ electoral commission yɛ de decide that is 2020 fast forward so yɛma 2024 so ɔka yɛ so yɛ deɛ na yɛn blame obiara but at the end of the day manfa ne sɛ yɛ party decision but whichever way wo a wodi yɛn mu kɔ saa no deɛ wona you take the maximum responsibility 2020 so no electoral commission ma yɛ the same 72 hours in 2024 so yeah 2024 ma yɛ the same 72 hours so within 72 hours no obe make declaration who can say there less than 15 hours near candidates no akwaji ato also one of the oji to move for the supreme interest of the country no some pese basa be ya de ebeba let's assume that is true e bi ana ye no kre but ohwa jikro oji to mu no it sent only one signal to the NDC asema e catch NDC for no say hey nkofo no omamo mo nsa so yenku coalition center so yenku move for mo so na NGC na ye de aka no entunim if you want 37 seats eba ma to ya ba 88 seats me no ka say your 4 regions are NPP need a single member of parliament 4 your 9 regions are the cumulative seats of the 9 regions near 98 parliamentary seats you move 5 NDC 4 mako 93 now I'm just comparing na me dey be see wa asem no so be abusa asa the area that about me oni say near there no
and even before you go forward ma chipin yi kakra
yes
or concede yeah it was somewhere around was it 8:45 to 9 on a Sunday morning now on just sure say at the end of the day to try be on wagin ntem bia wo hwe nkrata mu na de malusu and it was jitum ntem so be jitum later kra na say potagum ni hwegum ni na da sen ba kunu
sa na ne kwan so de ke say ye no but there's a matter of strategy so we I saw your captain I would ship enam eposo so ho say ukonya emergency a o captain untimi nka say emergency we the best nke ship ni nti no wo ma yi live boat ba ko na watem wo yi ba ko so ma yere say rescue mu o captain o said there say because something responsibility command responsibility as a leader who now take the final responsibility of bibia and wo kra no in offer say navy rules no eposo no say ship enya accident by emergency bi omo encounter emergency bi o captain should be the last person we say the office ship nim ti asem ni yo we so make sure say we rescue everybody in the ship to the extent say ship no kohwe okra na and say senke kra na you should be the last person so on the ship near the essence that is leadership and yes who betima hwe de do so wo hwe presidential na anya the ankoyi but there was say wo so dream parliamentary no ho say the but they compare 2020 President Mahama year no you lead no near 169 167 no after nearby 169 after nearby be do 137 just by standing to his feet and telling his people say massa election yen we electoral commission declare 72 hours na nya dey and so timunyina mo na so election kwa na dey edi nkunim say wo chusu say ye dey ekwaje 2 minute ye candidate kwaje 2 minute an haya ma improve ade bi nso ye to aba wie ya ye make declaration see coalition ye bibia wie it took the court the high court of Ghana and the reverses 7 of them
until you ought to believe say senka yintumu na mantem wanka probably nka parliamentary seat ni du nka ye hu dia
see yes because ye wie ye no court and the reverses 7 ma ye it was say nipa he no mo so ntima amfa mo de kra anya dey anko court what asem ni ana wuyi no kra free ho a abaye koto na ano no ebia wono beka say ebia omso party na no ho ye hi candidate nka ho ba na ano ye koto ye no ye nya nipa over 345,000 close to 400,000 wono mo call pools wo mo call polling stations no mo to my parliamentary candidates mo wie no mo tuti presidential no uzen kane no ke to aba na obi kura ntoma party won ntoma presidential ne parliamentary ke skirt and blouse ko beto ma presidential no 1592 sana abakosem ne tiwo 1592 na bibia presidential na ho oden e wo soro esene parliamentary no and so for the first time no yenya blouse and skirt said they became ya Kenya skirt and blouse skirt and blouse or we
dey na sesa
or tuma presidential na nko abeto atia parliamentary. We say local politics, yeah, not parliamentary, no. Yeah, na bu ha nsem kakra na. But for the first time in the history of our politics since 92, no, yeah, by a quarter, you know, over 345,000 people almost to my parliamentary, no. Omu no here presidential and him to tiano. Oh, enti we are really in a crisis. 2.1 million what the compare who for the votes are. One more mapo hokra meto. A difference of 1.7 million. And I'm catch say you were about nine regions are cumulatively 98 parliamentary seats. You move 5. In your mind is evolved 93. Your 4 regions walk on say open NPP MP gradia ebi asma make a bini who
4 good regions.
4 good regions. A bini who you need a single member of parliament to cry. What the votes say now and compared to President Akufo-Addo 2020 votes your votes so take by 31%. Asuma baby a party regionally who by 31%.
Presidential no.
Yeah, presidential. What they compare crowd to say it be a voter turnout na na by here it be a the northern part be a candidate if you a home poco compare Akufo-Addo did better than Dr. Bawumia by 16%.
In the home region.
In the home region, yes. And the Sokrate what they compare President Akufo-Addo the 5 northern regions no our no free honum program one that perform Akufo-Addo by 16%. And he maybe a party ni gina no there senye in Kenya na ma o first question abusa say then any people be switch sa because one more who say maybe a party ni gina no senye in Kenya bi pa na ba party me cha de wo gempa ha na nkwara wa President Akufo time one wo de free maternal care ba e wo mu free a wo mu anyini ya sa wo calculate wo mu na be ko senior high school free no me say they don't care about MPP. Debi. Hey, na say university campuses now we almost lost all the university campuses. And me say they don't care about MPP because case MPP are created for party one when ya. Sa be na we study we calculate years na President Akufo time na fe na ya wo mo. President Akufo free wa Mahama Mills buy no about 8-10 years so they couldn't appreciate governance. The only time we appreciate governance properly so called the last 2 years yeah na President Akufo-Addo ewo hoyi. And then also the last 2 years no so na sebio no mamu ye den COVID sunsun so o man mu ye den. It is ankra no kra say no. Se nye obi a o mate say ye se Kennedy na komedu Kennedy and the boss Kennedy o kan o yo Kennedy o kan okra enye the video me feed on the credibility and then sema ya ka fa kan so Kennedy on o kan ko ba o de nyuma na eba. And especially say I'm no say ye contest here ideas wasam. It is only Ken that has been able to state emphatically say one of the idea obey nyuma bi. And as I'm crying, say so mobile school, obi so ewo university on me pay nyuma. Enti enye obi a all kan nyuma ho asem a omanfo ne gini dia enua ebedin.
Afin wa journey hi okay 101.7 FM adiachi bi adwumedie so ni. We are streaming live on your social media platforms ni na so mesere say nkomo ye ne lawyer Kwesi Kwaten boyi wadwen kire ene question bia no fama ne yen ewo ene of our social media platforms no so ye backing kind na ye de amount now mama fan free ha our attention has been drawn to same bia obi o tebrofo timi de brofo ka de opa bia achro
okay
e de afam ho it's in circulation our social media platforms minimum say about to money mo
mehu say enre de kata we buy
sure
kata no kwa de com sim no de buy na me na me sasase na ne kenyina ye no man in some kakra bia ekoso and we fidie dia we nim say kwachi pa enti ma me mfa kwanya nchemu ye na no ye danya ne ya un say candidates no obi a wo idea of the send text messages so enti ke bia wo ha over 200,000 delegates no mbe receive message be a free ken ho no otia mo mbe receive be free Dr. Bawumia ho mbe receive be free Dr. Bright Champo ho mi papa Dr. Dutwum ana engineer Kennedy Agyapong obi a de biba na ye hu se ken din no a wo de send message no enipa mu bia fa kwati kwan so ana wonoma akọ ye nhyehyeye bia emfa mra kwan mu ana wonoma hackers edin na id ne system no ana o ma send text messages na text messages o mo send ye no ne tofa bo mu no ma send mienu a enfree ba ko mo say ken so no de ompe sebio yenwan mo free say asem no de akanfo kwa na betime di MPP anim na nim de ma wonu ma de o mo ye meka say ade omoye no Bruni because it wasn't an intelligent move, which I say. Almost sending almost sending man only the people in the 5 northern regions. What will be the motive?
Oh, okay.
Say an account candidate, our contest, in that sending message, I'm only go for more the 5 northern regions. Say, or no, dear, umu is for the account phone quan or boom. Now, Sebi Uganda higher tiano. Why part you tribal band on so on one day or no quite a bit maybe in election. And one more year, sir, just to incite the people in the north. No more sure before say, hey, can you unpack Sebi and Muslim fire day? As a more. Meanwhile, the latest company will be a rubber factory will be, or 366 workers. A more 300 workers if enough. And the workers as well pay Sebi a same for some our patches. Let us say, acquire Quambi, aquatic Quambi will be faster and tribally incite people against Iraq and Japan. That is the first message. Second message, you see a pros in one summer yake. Meaning, say, a be on commercial trend. But we stated our position on it clearly. Say, ye presidential election committee near the air dream. One must more Macassi and suspended poison. And ye didn't chill mu ye de a buy. Ubeje say, one must send a message ma Ghana Henina delegate bia say in the name of Ken. Second, so one so much poison to be free party na Sebio Nkwasiafo bia one more a bit deposit. Now we are crown pokra na hena we are much poison amount. Again, also orchestrated to incite people. Ne share mobile phone ya say oh Kennedy one kwano no ne kasa nya na bibisa. And the end the cat ababeche said those messages are not from Kennedy Agyapong. Sebi obi oye ba dream baby enim say obi eni ho okọ contest obefa phone at text messages e di delegates aye as atem. Now so obefa phone no I said that sending messages e dey akoma one more the northern part of the country. Now sending text messages am obi e dey na only the 5 northern regions in Ghana. Enti sa tribal incitement send me ba na one pious na mo ka yase bugina
bunka me ba be so akra say
tribal incitement ayeka ho asemi. What can raise the concerns can raise we chebi say tribal incitement is a cause war northern part of the country your delegates anymore especially the team e wo ho de one more brepa and I'm afraid de bia and then ya frɛ wa mo hini we wa medi wunu achi a ene ye be yu afrim ye be yu afra bonim ni atreten we beje de say ye kan on mo ka say ye boampo no say na no de bugi na board you buy it was public no admit say he is warning and cautioning people in the north so montoma irado taba omiankwa na wa baba twama obi a wonye wunua na wonye okrom ni de ontimi no ye de entra ho and nyebuki na bonkwa that is what is going on in certain parts of the north yekoto aba na ano yekoto aba police stations the constituencies are Kenya be 98 220 98 votes 220 votes ni adenya ye church of zero ne ma no enkofo omod buy no ken ko ho no
I want north
yeah on the northern part ken ko no omu yi omo phones ne yi kire say de toma ho that date so be na date no omu twa video na wo ho a omo toma ken na ne serial number ni bibia we yi say authentic. Meanwhile those polling stations ne constituency Kenya zero go for raise concerns ya won so omo dramatic kokum ada no ma akoyi omo nua ama na che say yeah no obi antimi nka ho ase but you know Ken will not allow anybody to blackmail him into silence. I know the sabi obi hanka say ye nyem papa mu se ho ahwani we mu free ha na we mu free ada sabi o Dr. Bawumia na no ekoto abman 2023 na kanfo di party. We are not questioning him on his religion. We are not questioning him on his tribe. We are not questioning him on his ethnicity. Asema ye kan na is on his performance. Say ye data man. Data no che say okoye no MPP abako say no wa mo ne homode. And Ken raise these concerns. E ho ani akoda ne na no. Na dey ato say Ken say ompe entafo asema na so ompe isirimu fasem. Nti sa dia ye shesirimu fo before so mo kontu tiaken. Dikrata na de animu enchiremu e de baaye say entesa. It's not from us. And as they say, they say message be on be received through that be ID ni biara in free ho. We will not even use it again. Not the person of the normal find. But yeah, for kwenye so and so a caution other people on yesa. Near the Jatwa, and so near the said ya afa you rado tabamia. So only one in casa. One more be a no one now way. Because no one because me just so best sense our message. But I mean, clearly they stand to benefit from such message. We are brought you subai, and then some more canon now. Chama to be them say no issue in our temu dangakra. So at the end of the day, he is the ultimate beneficiary, and no kobuno isa. Kanena bunu is ken na ho de anyhow. And so latest research here, he's leading in Blue East. Why? Because Abronye go for who so say party no dinati no ntimi nka ho asem. And now half for ne bunu nyina Ken has flipped there. because of the same abronye. Yeah, it's good for us, but for the total image of the party, no. So text messages, insightful text messages, ne me mu sorry di atem no de. Because what you know the di atem no ajobreo.
Okay, away from a statement amodia ba be di banke the akosi obo bugri na abu na mamimbisa say they did come as a surprise to you and for that matter no campaign team say bugri na abu okono offer the standing in the NPP obeka bibi say
there be anya me wanwa who say me matne stremu penyo me ko school stremu me first degree me in stream UDS
okay
na nordness enkofo bi omo kan mo hu bom papa omo do mo ho papa. If you want to incite nordness ahom enye on matters of tribe there be omo kan mo hu bom e bia ye hakra de ne bia ye hakra no ye kra de may be on matters of religion so nordness enkofo omo kan mo hu bom papa enti entity omo de me hu say ye nka no krenche ho menua. There is what we call home advantage in politics. What I say? Okay, Professor Moss.
Yeah.
A bro, course, a central educator say, "At the power of you, I do of you." Okay. So Trump, or Konikum catch almost on Montomano. A mammy on the koi. First one, Hillary did the same. Now we did a lawyer on the koi. Kamala. All see the same. Home advantage is nothing wrong. Me a short second Konikuma, or Bakache Central for say and Trina Day. Emma, no, home way they will free. Dr. Duchu won kwa santre jobeka meboa me a menua pani was I more for kwanya nchen Dr. Brian Champon ono so ko ni kuro obeka se ento abaga de ema no. There's nothing with home advantage politics, but what is wrong with here obi okwa tifi ko hunu nsuo no aba na afọ aye de abebusa yenim se munua no no mokuro mu ni no ene okwa parliament members of parliament omo nyina omo ye makomaku du baako wonu nyina support Dr. Bamia bebi wo so omo kra na yedi suma edwadie obo so honorable kemi support my donation we amount my koto bi a pick up amount my ese amount mama me nkofo ye dwo na me mitimi nyima ni because me yima ni ma me nkofo won me nya dai entwe kura o me ka chense me yim me kurom ni aye dai ama ana se me yim nwa na ordinary aye dai ama afunzo ni ho e bi aba support on that line. Identity politics is natural. We call it voter behavior. You will be a the soft the catcher son koto abansa no aye dai akoto you ne o man ya se bi o VIP 2 VIP 100 buses to emu 99 e bom pae wom so nyankopon onyi driver no ya training no na on fa Holy Spirit na nkasa metra kan we are people of religion, we are people of ethnicity, but the hadrene say wo be twete nkrofo awie no obi so be ka che ni kromfo o south say menuanom say na bi anipa smesi na obenten wono mo bo o nkrofo nto yeso mo ye dia ye koka dia wo de o say dia tribalism but wo dia de tribalism eh el honna hadrene no wo koka che say nto aba mawa eno nye tribalism, but the Bekebo Hadia and near tribalism. That is where I have a problem with. And you on that principle, no, on that score, no, and it be and there be a money problematic. Say no be on Kunukum country, say, and trouble at Emano. But Bugrina, boy, a party penny. What the chairman pay? And they say, quite the Okra de Udiakoya. So, and to call him, dear, Kibu Quasonia, who brass class, and no maybe class are, Kautia China or Kay in a ebum. But one was so Janessa. Eno na ma nyina kaseti a prozi ni mu no ho ahwania mnim se hon komo nyina ebede yebeka because a chiri na fei you want mu intimidating crowd. If you appeal to people to vote for you, there's nothing wrong with it, but situations are more intimidating no yankofo mo the evidence be chere so mo to ma ken na actually we are ken 00 na share na dem. There are some of them are suma mamu amamu ko fie se o mo to firi krom ho me na me ka chew. There are some of him for catch them say one more bebanation of from the land. Edrusa. And the kid who ya obekasa or a achim no chibia okoka ho asema omuzu or ya tribalism. And the mass our message here near dinina ho asem ye de. But edrusa the way there so much bro. You are sabi you nyanum stay phone kwantimi control MPP. Account phone kwantimi control MPP. Not necessarily voter for quite even got me. You never came home. But they made the man who say, Minya, the man who say, often at times, you get people are one more there a tool or my weaponize against a team grouping. Into a emotional blackmail. Oh, me free a hunting and embassy about to buy a day, amami. The real issues non can was them. Oh, Minya, almost me a cremoni into numbers, yes, I heard a man to mammy. what is he trying to achieve? Yes, and Cramofo in a trouble. I mean, you yes, me a Christian into the same trouble, mammy. The person is a Christopher in a boomful, the uncle trouble man. When you are no yes, me a ceremony into the say, mean deserve. Now, Sabre 2023 contest now, yes, ceremony. Now, only I can for uncle. Then the winning, and then they also yes, 17% trouble. So, a lot of times, you know, Dr. Baumia, and I accuse them directly. One more, a foul legend. Any tribal issues, you know, and on my weaponizing, you know, and trying to blackmail everybody into silence. But this time around, and 2026 the end what the bar will discuss based on issues. You the people more beer, but you more beer and benefited from this tribal game. No, it won't work.
I don't know whether only school of thought by ya say Bugri na Budia or de be coupled with the by Yamudi statement, by and Nina towards one line. Tribal politics.
Yes.
Now, was it a calculated plot to you? And I say, from the perspective of Moshe, I'm say, okay, ye be bibisa yenye. Na Bugri na Bunzo some farmers so said the beer beer a bebwa diaba bontino. Ni akasa he Simon.
Oh, say Bugri na bonya kola. And any called there then so on kasa. Na ko ye liki yentimi ye ne ko ono ane confide na kasa. Anu kwa won hwe yie. It is so hu zenko for edidi na asekwa. And I mean the brother Dr. Baumia team no. Ya no was kwa no lumba kan enu ebi no. Nye ne koye. Ono na aka na asem and a babontin. And we says asema na ye ka ho asem the complaints that we had from your supporters or more than northern part of the country. Yes, ya him for intimidate you, influential people intimidate you, you threatening be say behind more. These are evidences to support that. Nyame na boy na Bugri na budi buy. Ah, or ye kwa catch obi say ampa ma one obi a so hwe no obi ankoto amaka ni. That is how it came out. Nye ne koye. Who so onya kwala na akwache ndi wonka. Se papa na efi. But who say ono papa no ka na adwun. Eno mo no so nsuro hwe o. Nti the things he believes in and the things he has been doing and oye. Say o se bi wote ase onwi. E obetima frɛ busan say one kan na asa na ye de kan. Na e ba yi no ntim me kan say onim ho hwe. Oh, and now Dr. Baumia so camp no be who betima condemn say papa ni play tribal politics. Why? Because they stand to benefit from it. Now no the message akwa say ye mumu kra na say mpe he for asem. Enti wo mumu na aye o ma de na sebio so a backfire. And ye.
Na me point na me pese me make e de bisa ne say one encrophobia kwese akire so ahun.
Yes.
E de asema babonten e twa ntro tomo so. And said that we can walk or hack a compare Kennedy Agyapong campaign system no be at the message be a purport say from one aba. Some message no mun some a play tribal kakra. And e be say it could be say e be a plan and strategy and say yamfasa hacking at the numra near the babontin here na Bugri na bunso so aba beka. Nani dia na ba be support dia ye e dia say bi a Ken din no ni aka say he so said dia a compare kun ye e na ama Bugri na bunso so aba e be ka say minim say the American what must
oh say Ken was the first person that spoke on it publicly. What I say
no me po me ka the omo hake they no information na no omo dey ba ya o kan wansem.
Yes.
And can it also be say yashesha ne say yan ha kene information amra ya the information be wi na Bugri na abu nso abekasa na Bugri na abu bekasa say the be ya ye benya support na in the eyes and in the ears of people no majedi say ampa e be free Ken ho because Bugri na abu kra ba be respond de kra ma ye hu say
oh send the adwuma no mo say send the adwuma no mo say o message o mo say I say mo back o mo say all accounts to get together and lead the NPP. We cannot allow the minority tribes to continue leading us while they remain their subordinates. Let's take our party back to accounts in the name of Kennedy Agyapong. Like, which reasonable person would do this?
And it's a Bugri na bunzu be kan ya kata.
Or they can respond. So you see how they scheme the things.
But sure, e bi mu say can it also be say be na former vice president who say not in a stronghold no as a agency owing to the results from 2024 elections no they said their okay said there are regions bi okra munni any MP seat biya wo ho sure say no dey nkura bi betumi abem and against the home constituency kura no a vote free oba ye nenye no can it also be another dynamics biya camp be introduced to get the people in the north say there ba e bi amoma nanka na rana ye nimse any message bi anti yemfa we enye bibi to get your attention.
We message no mo send in the name of Kenya. I mean, we are looking at a more probable reasoner, quite logical, meeting the test of logical consistency. And when you do that analysis and you realize, say, Ken should be Nipa obey disadvantage with this message. Nipa a better beneficial ultimately will have to be Dr. Baumia. Because you say, I can vote in the didn't for Asema, I say same fast Asema. What does it mean? Say same for you protect the will extremely candidate that is the intention of the whole message. But for and then no delegates, they are very sophisticated and very complex. One way are very discerning than what we can imagine. Not for no so case ebia ne ho dey but no kre se bi na ho dey eba for more. But he will still win the northern parts of the country. Obe me susu say northern region obe win but can be close to Gabon. Northeast ni krom no home regions obe win but can be close to Gabon. Baby say ne kan wo biti e kese pa wa hwe ne bechemu pe upper west wa side ho no wa ne tumuni ade no but baby to say upper east bo gane boko ne mpatemu ho say e wo ken be wini the reason is say who say sa omu issues na ho no enye who say sensitivity me pese meka ho asem e wo radio so nti ho say no nobody is trying to benefit from it but I mean voter behavior no especially I heard the last election baby a coin how musibu akena e ho say no you see our region is say can be team win nti Dr. Baumia de na ho de aba form generally me se menye mi suro kra na ka Dr. Brian Champo a put the game kakra bi a ko obetima shock no ko obetima shock no na ho de aba form pa because ensa na kura mu nyina so obi atwe no ho ana campaign no so no enko so ho campaign enko ana me ba na me di nkomo bi offer but they mean to be from but campaign enko I mean that campaign enko say no
I didn't do my resort to strategies
akwai so obi ensuo fa no uze ensuo fa wa na mu huma nyina ayi ma de obeye bia no bibia be hu bia no so mu say yesebio ice water rubber na dem kura na uso wakoso be ice water rubber e betima chokew ohun enti basa kama mu no twi kase wani so yo krak so wani so yo krak de obehu bia wo don sabe so because wo enti basa everything you want to do to your advantage because wo de mamenka wo said Dr. Baumia a personality no a very modest and humble personality obi aso Dr. de obono ho Dr. de ne kasa ye kama Dr. de a very humble person meboa but wo de hwe na no nkofo edi na cha omo kasa ma no hwe ayi abronya mo kwasibotwe mo wo de hwe di atem ne ade ne I'm not saying say be so be free but say obi ka say there is a camper nko betimi kura kadidi atem kwa mfi ne camp ne kasa basa kasa ntwitwie hwe na no chama wontimi oso election ye national council ye shada the top down by said the way betimi awi abama Dr. Baumia like nkofo edi na chi asesa papa no the aura around the campaign
but on so beka ya dan minim say ye greater Accra ha say ono na ye candidate no nti whoever be obi be perceive say or one camp or ye bibi na say tia wo a don't deal with the
was here na ya mo bi amese na abra mo
so the individual bi na bi or you fan of him na bi or penalty mo ye
ni okay FM ha mo ye dwuma se mo media men na mo ye dwuma hi mo koya de bi e de nim go se beka okay FM and despite media ni nyina we sure say papa despite oba be jina ka tell say hwe na we kana amfa na ne suba amese ma bro he will sack you that is the beauty of leadership. Say BC can come. Guy be nobody near friend Alestate. No ba no cancer. Now he doesn't have the permission of Ken. Or by also na me chicha ma untumi one yes na Ken say untumi so onya manunko face court. Party asem fanya da ma bonten. Ken pamu ni fi no. Papa ye friend no kwaku na asa wan hwan yokodi Dr. Baumia temi. who's not can guy be a program be expose be or man FM and in the two
yeah.
So Papa no could di Dr. Baumiatem. The following day as Ken Sakeno. So that's the difference. What I say, the difference with the two leadership. Yankase, I don't know. I say chama want to me and I say na abronya di atemi. There is no way say Baumiana trust scripts in the man. There is no way. But yes, I now be a who say wona woni penny and na wo beti na kasa amanati no. And you stand to benefit from the atem we nyina. E dey na wo show ye. Wan kasa ho antia na obi abehu se sebi opani yo no. Ebi asin talk akra dey wo na say mreyo bi ye dey ewum. Sa na gbakwa akoba. Sa na nipa bebre no be dey bedwen. Enti eno de free no. But we expect a demonstration of leadership. Send you also penny no. Nipa smesi and na abono is ni ade okọ obona sampa abronya moko bodu ntutu a now Dr. Bawumia wo ha kire wo chia wo nyina de nyina. If you are losing sampa votes abronya no okọ election. On election you will be the repercussions ni effect ni consequences wona be count. So nti wo ye na wan tia na ka say oh me me say wa braba no ne dey huh
we been to be expect say nka we dey nka e koyi dey e mamon ka won hwe san say say o ye bibi na say Bawumia campaign to your advantage in nka munye din no onye
oh sebio say ye dey politically aboy but ye what is the end ye no say party na we we na went me we ni no election for so be that so and there be a cast ideas so be say rich ideas man. Yes, the rich ideas are good, but if you don't get somebody who can win power, those ideas never come pass it. Name food trouble home. Yeah, class. I'm na na ko do etie no. Obi o se ke obi o timi ka so ko yi bi afase won pana so bra. Obe dam pana se obe twe boto anasa kenten na ba. Bi o timi hu se kan bi da ho na bibi bi kura na ya bo bibi no wa cheche na de bi e wonto. Wo se ho ye fin because akam pass. Oh, ye nyintimi nye the MPA. Akwese mpana anafo kura na tifo baby. And so when you don't bring it out make clean ever so bia ni sa de kro so. So you need the power. Other than that, sa ideas ni ade nyina they become obsolete. Ye beja dem pass am mfutra bo ho. Say me na na bna kwa do bia me wura dem pass na mfutro abose kan no ma egu ho no.
Yani lawyer Kwesi Kwati o yes spokesperson de Kennedy Agyapong ko Kennedy Agyapong campaign na ban komo na we the NTC campaign mu nyamo mu nkomo kakra sa ne aba proxy
yes
voting ya mpenifo twemu eso we the mamembisa showdown campaign leading to 2023-2024 flag bearership election now can be
last one I na make ho na o say sebia kwa se bese panico na haban mpenifo se tase de banyansa fom
sure
na me boa Iraken e wo kwan bi so but me ntimi nyimanim che say sabre so na me boss Dr. Yosedu twum so pe vice e wo Dr. Bawumia who say no so o ka contenders ni ho as whether he was lobbying or the system was considering him no the principle is that it was something that was on the table for to be considered ntina nyansem no sebio nipa ono omo akwanya on satimi ko anu ntimi nsori opinion ye de entia no enti kenso ye me papa me se me ginidi we dem say last election dey na enkoyi because we needed a stronger candidate enti na me say ye boa Dr. Bawumia de ho de nyina egu so fine nyame boa be ba da enkoyi a what is the next and na me so primaries na me so say primaries ndi ka ken ba ko be de ko be wini enti I mean behind the scenes you know na ye name for kasafa fon so no mo nya so mo nya de m1 ndubuza their last election no I was more keen than Bawumia just say na new year mu no na say be nya answer de eton say the bear you also don't go and betray your boss or hurt his feelings
and then maybe a question way because na me person ya de 2023-2024
yes
at 2025-2026 you never say ni mienu de wan na agada momentum pa
the last one the election last one they say I mean election almost 137 MPs di back for echi almost all 6,000 appointees di back for echi almost all 276 MMDC di back for echi this be omu ni omadwen constituency executives 17 na okwa be bia upompo so di back for echi and I don't think that was any proper contested election. I don't think so. This is what we call election. When equal playing field, level playing ground. Emu daho obi ankobi. I mean, the only a year member we want to say the excesses are also been too much. Some of them has gotten so personalized. Yeah, the nipa who bem and the attempt no, and the attempt they may condemn from all angles. Yes, so yeah, normally be higher bro so. That about me almost be higher and normally be bro so because I know the year back and why the album and then they condemn. But this is one of the best contested elections. Sisi Amino can say very open. What I say. Of course, there are two leading contenders, Kennedy Agyapong and Dr. Bawumia. These are the two leading contenders. But Dr. Brian so has also changed the dynamics. I think the higher Dr. Brian Agyapong performs, the lesser Dr. Bawumia's votes become. There is that correlation. Because the Nkofona where the arching. So this time around, we are also having a third force. Unfortunately, my former boss went to me fully be this time around. He said, "On also no Odin Kakra." Otisi mu he started well, but him say ekona ahoden also ba form na engineer so ahoden also eba form. But this time around election no be. I feel it's a more competitive election, even though the excesses I feel say excesses against eba form kakra no. But I mean all being all no. Me will GDS strongly say at the end of the day Kennedy Agyapong will come out victorious.
Maybe some question we say na question we no historical antecedent to be a Bakobi cry free Bible mu say at the time I was elected Saul na onu hompo but he was elected.
Yes.
And I am told, I stand to be corrected, I say aside for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah baby na order prison Nkrumah election because so still he won.
Yes.
Ma mimbisa what the campaign watch enim campaign mu of what percentage of influence and effect is campaign to elections?
Oh, who said? Well, I mean the biblical history analogy no was influenced by the resolve of human being, which it was a campaign. Just that it may be a direct campaign. For instance, look at the biblical case of Saul. In the case of Saul, Saul's ascension to the throne. So kaya, who say Israel bakosem no. Na mama etwa Israel ho ahia nyina no mo omohene.
Sure.
In the case of Israel no na Nyankopon na yo omohene. But the people of Israel were determined to move in a certain direction. Ndomo ko hu the prophet Samuel. Say Samuel enko petisi nyame no mo ehene. On that omo kwa nyame se there be omo kwa nyame se there be ono abedi omo so. On the third occasion Nyankopon de ono aka so ni koyi so ye de emo omo. So Saul's ascension to the throne was not all that clean. It was not within the biblical theologians will tell you, it was not within the sovereign will of God, but it was within the permissive will of God. But what is the principle I'm trying to outline? The principle they say, Omanfo ni nyina were determined to move in a certain direction. So that itself was a campaign. And to me, ubusa me dia, a friend say, "Adi anywhere it comes out of a vacuum." Ni nyina ye the human resolve. One more to Tiabako Sema Uyina no Naye, one more any pana and that's in almost a mope, any pamana bay day, Abidu Musan Copo de Soya day, a mom. That's why I said that when the people are determined to move in a certain direction, there are situations that even God can step aside and almost a second your motion. Maybe a last election, certain class of people who hold that power were determined to move in a certain direction. Chenchina and Yakoya Kwaji and Nisono. God even stood aside and was seconding the motion a man Dr. Bawumia a buy. But this time around, what the 2 years the same campaign, the people are determined to move in a certain direction. Okay, I say because say 218,000 for the prime minister. One we are the voter population of 18 million, which is 1.2% of voter population of 18 million. When the masses, the 18 million, will be asking for camera, I don't know what saying but most importantly, they say ultimately you still have to campaign. I say, say, Tim comes bro. Professor Bernard Mo and then penny some of them don't have their permissions to put their names outside. But you can't bank all your hopes on prophecy. You still gotta work. I also call from name party for ne kasa because 2 million. Okay, I say me no di kan kasa me say 2 million sere. And 2 million, one more 2 million mo dia no. I see here 2 million for no. Okwo no ma pone kakra ye de amount. In the campaign there, I strongly believe say election winning in a campaign. election winning your campaign.
Reasons why me besides our question back and away ya no on the prophetic side.
Yes.
And about one way more. Then the second one, in terms of the question here, if that is the case, 5 aspirants in a campaign. A compare Kennedy Agyapong also can 5 no. What makes Ken's campaign unique and outstanding? Eddie win ebebrem.
Especially with the backgrounds of prophecies are Abbas Obewi no. And I know mean you know film.
I know that's where you know. On the me no.
There is a question no. Who's there? We say who interview near you by question no say cross examination. I say who the meet who me na nisu ye.
And I want to see who you pay.
Yeah, but I mean, even just a quick bite on that, or even on that stretch, you know, unso bia on a juma warrior. Obi or ball no, maybe 2 7 ball, but and yam young name Michael Essien, a professional footballer.
Sure.
And you Prophet Bernard Mono Mother, Mono Mojuma Moya the air no, and then Yamaka Samo Moso, Afamos, and there is that such level of credibility. But I just say prayer, I said the same Bible. No, make catch you say prayer is not like a grocery list of items. A shopper say akrama okwa no koyi. A way what they was to Nyankopon and him said that his will be done and not yours. It is just like the same thing. Prophecies have the characteristics of coming to pass or failing or delaying. But also duty also yeah. Oh yeah. The year because so a part no. We will not bank all our hopes on prophecies. Nyame F on the side, but you say a side. But now to your substantive question, say what makes campaign unique. You know? Can campaign, don't say you're afraid be evidence-based campaigning.
Sure.
Okwa ukura atokwo, ukura bro, ukura tea, green tea, just ukura no bebre e mo ni ade. No, chere nti oba origin ha. Say if I say Eastern region koyi. Say Eastern region omu dua bepa, omu asase kama. Omu ya bepa. And the one call bet me the Brunia one actual. No, the local ones watch. No, actual say, you bet me the year the AB, ya bay, bet me at the aye and we be bet him the aye and we be bet him the aye some nanyade. So he's really talking about employment, job creation. Now, not only job creation, but he's also marketing your local products as well. How they are the echo, so people can relate to the campaign. And now what makes Ken campaign very unique is one, the track record and the personality is built for himself over the years. We say Benfoka say kwatre kwa bema ntuma TND o so ate sakasa no kwatre kwa bema ntuma ya TND ana yesi bedi akudi fata na kono enye nkwankwa anu ase so hu na okwatre nkwankwa anu ase jemframa eto dame na me etwam na wo koye se anu ye mfro bedi akọ ebi a ede wakọ ni ma ya aboaje so hu enti what is the track record of Ken? The track record of Ken is say nipa also be enwuma no busa say wa be enwuma ni bia ma pen and why be pen one or track record say the biggest school store in West Africa or be so the biggest school store in Africa or no dia biggest tree plant in Africa or no dia so you can track record enwuma mu no for fruit factory so oba the media groups are
factories they are in operation.
Yeah, I think say fruit no one more raw materials in intimi meat. The omode juice, fruit juice in I don't know.
Okay.
Who say raw materials? The last time the briefing I had, they say factory no within 3 months no more process and carry organ in every. In 9 months now can whereas the factory is literally not working. Aboka. There is no point in the factory no you can continue to run it. The unless say ubinya anka topar. And now be shake your for no more duankano untumi nya dey the factory cannot be functional so until a man team or starch factory the starch factory is operating the still no there say I feel no more jatum and or a cold stores no so operating and the media businesses and the real estate you crown a dime program last time there I think with this one I have his permission to say because can or bola show so also 277 houses. And your houses were seated at the Daoka kill. Any party team and I ask myself, say fear be a more security barco, cleaner barco, garden boy barco, multiply by 277. How many jobs not created? 3 by 277. How many jobs not created? And on the recent factory, a rubber factory, make us say 360 workers or he moved 300 year or not necessary. What I say. So when he comes from this background, I am kofu nimu sese na otie. no say Ken so go for send him say be 2 music go 2 media Ken de nani eden ana omunum so wo kanokre omu say Ken de wo kanokre omu say oh Ken de me kai first omu say oh Ken de ne kasa nye so no kre de nko ade wo ka. So people acknowledge say yes he has shortcomings as a human being, which they say ni panim penifo ebe ni nyina say Ken has become very measured. We focus on the campaign, evidence-based campaign, and the idea all year the Juma and you so the campaign. But this time around, no, people look at that track record. People look at the character traits. Ken who could do. He's a disciplined guy, patriotic guy, very honest guy. Don't go so any Ken campaign no there. Yeah, the man and I got turn a bed there better. And until I'm going for marketing say Dr. Baumia marketer, but many of Dr. Baumia has been visible for the past 16 years. Visibility is presence, but marketability, acceptance, marketability, credibility, the value people place on you. Ken is the only candidate amongst them. He is both visible, and also marketable. Also, we are marketable in tools. What a fair spot, me out to tools here, my boy, and once and so. You who buy and talk, and then analyze and call ye. A some boy. You who 16 years in the candidate has been around, but they didn't buy it. But this time around, 2020, I say the candidate, he has been around, they know him, but toast or the code, and Yamo boy, a Toronto Sakasaka, now somebody back we almost say no free Burkina, someone when who are at the same meeting. And the who are not unto to come over talk around to be that talk about to confiana or the apple free. And that is what Ken presents, his unique traits and his track record. And now man the campaign I quite different. Of course, couple with the fact that sir or can you man want some. Memo any mamba in idea near you man want some. Numa ntiama the campaign a copa.
All right. So campaign so far baby amakoko. How is the message you sold, and how is the message bought?
Oh, Ken, the message about jobs. But of course, we as a crab person before so I know. Or say our real song agriculture and socio-economic transformation. Again, there is a strong link between tourism and socio-economic transformation. And what's our say decentralization. About the congestion Accra, no amount other regions, no so are very active. And the obeying ministries, you know, about 70% of the ministries obey for Accra, and they acquire that regions, you know. Until over Eastern regions, your compromise on trade and industry. Northern regions also the agriculture, Volta regions also the tourism, education, maybe it's a central region. So, you can get other ministries as well. For instance, trade, for instance, in my view, and of course, when we frame the policy, we frame trade, for instance, and quite Santia a bit more east because Asante somebody Japa, na east is somebody Japa. So, you go for near the don't say dready, but quite Santia as well. Don't form my near somebody Japa. So we have to get the ministries closer to them. Into a quite message we not on or can you ma once make it tinuma my AB pay. Me what that track record no. Me wo hunim die. Me unim nkofo a metimi no about investors. Also there about 13 investors. Ono mu nyina multi-dollar billionaires. Ono mu nyina do musika be show mine am on mine the economy. Wo kan so a omanfo no gitum. The enti omo gitum ye say they don't see Ken as an ordinary politician. They see him say we different.
Eno na ya na misuro kakra no te say dia Sir John of blessed memory be kan no a fear delegate. For that matter, fear supporters and so Obeko Omeba Besia Town Hall Venu Nombeba Ombeba Ajoso Emra workers are making promises. But Abeko we are seeing no about 2 corner we in insurance on the bar. A different picture crown chat. Minimum that what makes you convinced they say yes indeed in Crofui Euphoria ya Wamudia in Semia Yakin. If I come in so. Oh,
sir, yeah, dear. A friend is a or some Pacani or say assembly de Coca. Assembly Kabugu, a assas a passo, a begu a boom, a begun casemo. The trouble don't run away in the idea free. Yeah, dear, yes, you did Cassia or Parna say, akwa say the trainer asem Bible kan wo so he na koma da Nyankopon de ensem no say akwa say nsu etene ba bi ono asafo ade pe no de eto enti ye de ne say be ho ka kasempa no ne ase nyame say won fa won makoma nya de ento ba bi ye de eye so we continue to appeal and also de opa hey obu okwa pa nyame betime de na koma ato ba bi ye so prim na koma na do wura fi ne Nebukadnezar where they obu ho be prim na koma by the end of the day no we hope say the maximum number of people will come to our side. And most times we also run internal polls to assess your strength and what the people need. To be a running internal polls as Sanchereja and who then so tier near who at the crash say the yaka. It is saying an election is more scientifically based, it's more scientifically run. To who say Hasi, we are who they was so we will come we see no man for no we need power now between the Wakasa. Nina ye 2-1 and more. We are, I mean, science doesn't lie. Of course, you have what you call a percentage of error. But who you know free why you want to say your boy home than pa.
Now, Ebiaka say, oh, here can campaign all your promises are on Mickey and in some more work and the union as well say. NPP delegate in Son Twaba Manonoa. Many are of the belief say, Senka Ken and a flag bearer 2024. What's your messages, no? And answer me what message in no, which does not so much dwell on the past and what the NPP government then has done. And Kebianka Ken, when you could losing no percentage, you know, and yet, because you say,
I strongly believe that conversation should even be expanded if you are not being charitable. Say, Ken, Krana. And a year or before from Pokra, me who say, ye nim kunimukra will have a better performance. You see, and Penifoka can say, be saying, so a cherry to my day. Not about me, own dear pa. Oh, or him default. But situations, these circumstances that surrounded 2024 election, near ye free man at the M1. Adia ye names a woe who him dear was I see super, who call who school, call Canada, who pay the economy, me boy.
Sure.
Na economy na wo hu nim de no ye kwoto aba no and economy so na wo kaya dot about me campaign against the backdrop of the party no about power neboa also when the fundamentals are weak the exchange rate to expose you sure. And you didn't arrested the dollar and giving the keys to the IGP no money ade yes so be say 2024 you necessarily didn't supervise the mess asem na ye the to ye and na rabia me ba me man left na me ka chen say all of a sudden, it appears a Ghana for review said the past 2 years near if you COVID Munayade Abba. But whether it's Dr. Baumia or it's not Dr. Baumia, ultimately you bear the brand. Wouldn't people will put the responsibility on you. In the election year kwa, say dollar will be the call 1:4, was say papa the pakro, while now the trade will cost 170 questions tomorrow. All time no, now they're free 4 17. How do you convince any reasonable Ghanaian say yours was better? In that circumstance, no, there is no way say Ghana for Benya Didio. And no money be so why sometimes some of them are personal, but say be a party either at 17, a question be pandikuna haba or yetasi the banyansa form. So in terms of the candidate represented, it appeared to say Neni Panya the engine into. Almost party na he party he I don't disprove that. But sebi undia akufado for 2 no kwa no obo bi to Ghana hana. No. 2008 President Kufuor free office. One is in Ghana for party NPP hunye. When President Rawlings was leaving office, one can say Sabrina this for hunye. Obia kwabia Ghana ye de bufuo ne ya asantanye kawante. Say or so na no be TV or to President Mahama President Kufuor or so catch President Mahama say Kufuor so mu de bufuo ne ya na ekom na ye de etoy. And one ye de toaba. If you look at a normal, you the two abai 2 lima abai, and one and the 2 Rollins abai, and one the 2 Akufo-Addo abai, no 2 obi abai. But the extent of rejection, we share 16 regions of Ghana, a move 15 of them, ye declining in votes. We share out of 276 constituencies, a move 199 of them we lost. We lost the presidential, which translates about 72.2% rejection rate. You cannot tell me send a party the candidate mattered. And you had close to 400,000 people or more parliamentary to a candidate. So I agree. Sanya Kennedy Agyapong Pokra na ye Alan Chamatin and any other candidate or very revival ye can wouldn't have that loss. That loss, no, I'm not pinning it on Dr. Bawumia on the course of loss, no, but his acceptance by the general populace was also low. And there's a more reason why out of 276 constituencies, 199 of them we lost. Interestingly, do you know, say there are 7 regions Dr. Bawumia failed to win a single constituency? There are 7. Yes. There are 7 regions when we need a single constituency. 276 constituencies, Olusumu 199. 199 constituencies. How then do you say, and it gives me that hope and that assurance, especially looking at the figure. Also, know the data mine to appreciate data. Nipa almost 400,000 mokotoma pieces of mututiana. It shows that untimi nyunu sunya the inframe. And for me, I'm convinced that Sanya can cry the nipa who for be an ebaya. Obetime win election.
Wow. Yane lawyer kwesi kwati on yakasama for the Kennedy Agyapong ko in the Japan campaign. And na bon komoyin. Then another question ye bisani, will you be surprised if some about to also come January 31st? Now Dr. Alhaji Mamadou Bawumia be emerge as the winner. Will you be disappointed in the delegate for not have considered say now mo wa ban mu no mo call election voter wo munya yeni eso munya ban mu 4 years? What can they do as a party? I bet me am my viable and accepted.
Openi ya nkomo yokura ya bo. God was the king of Israel. Na me know Israel for him. Yet Israel wanted to have their own king. No more person of omo anya omo hene. Wo mo de fa prophet Samuel so. Na e twa saase ma prophet Samuel odifo de kwaka ye be mo asase be mo yere no mebra ware odifo se de mani nye ho no mo piepia no na piepia odifo afeni nyame se.
But yen ka say de okay de paraphrase.
Me ba ho.
Da bi paraphrase say yes na Bible kan exactly say ye twa saase man.
Ah say na ekwa bia omo ya odifo aja tum se okwa lobby na ye da mo. But what is the most important principle?
Okay.
The most important principle is that when they push God, I na me de so ma omo no. Echire no twene kasa fe Israel fo nyanu hu won mu si apene na fo mu sha se ye de enwiwi na fe wo mu sa kwa urade anim so ma yemfo so nti nyame fo mbo ne nye de enche mo ene ma so eye rejected that David ye de e bae di asem ni yo yakwa election ni bi the people were determined to move in a certain direction the last time yakwa ne kwaji ye ni so ohun. And so if the people are determined to move in a certain direction, say be Kennedy Agyapong the so ye ba akufo ono de sebi aburu we ni president kwa so betima kwa ina adwuma ye mu bi na bi ya be haye kakra aso sebi o ne bill so wo de ukonya police station kwa na so be mienu e de a so be nya 5,000 6,000 bia to botom e de to petrol e de egu kem anya yi so ase de memu ayi obi akota bochi so akopem abisu aye de atra. So that is not the problem. The bigger problem they say if Kennedy Agyapong doesn't win, Kennedy Agyapong ono de oyen ha no na mu ye party ni aye de ya ha no said the Israel for primo makoma a chile no na nyamina no more ha no ba omo no mo ye de ha no. That is the correlation. And so Kennedy Agyapong there, I am fully convinced the people will. And I win him. Omanfo so mu tie the Ghana for worker. Oh, and the man who said they won't repeat the mistake, no. The mistake of bringing Saul no Nyankopon rejected Saul no. And they say the Ghanaians rejected Dr. Bawumia. And so they have to be introduced a new David. Israel for man the second mistake. When they did the first mistake by forcing God to bring Saul, they changed their ways. And they are changing the David and the Abraham. And so yes, Saul has been rejected and a new David is coming. That new David is Kennedy Agyapong. And it is Israel for young for me. I have full confidence. I have full trust. Me wo jide kese we delegates mu say sa delegates for or matri mu da ho papa wono mu experience o mu tie the Ghana for ka wo tra totro mo se emfa Kennedy Agyapong mra wo tra bas me se emfa Kennedy Agyapong mra wo kwaso de me se emfa Kennedy Agyapong mra wo ru adwuma se emfa Kennedy Agyapong o ka so bonte o matin ti bi dem se be.
All right, now proxy voting.
Proxy
and combre no still committee ni say no regardless of diaspora no petition na wom de ba ye na committee ni say omo petition no kra no o ma reject abo atu agu proxy no na ema so. Do you support or you are against?
Mame nkasa oncho. Prosy be nyina no. Say external branches na ya asema. 2023 onim nipa register from external branches somewhere proxy. 76. 76.
Not even up to 100.
Oh, 76. Enti ede na asema ya kawie dada close book no. Ase nipa no bi de ekwan bia chenchena prosy. 76. Ana wo hwe local so a wo ya abochefo no so local Ghana ha no out of over 200,000 albums no. One more register from local no mu 800. External for me so mo 76 na 2023 mo ye. Di adai abochefo yi. Enti dia nkwa na nipa bi hwehwe a wono mo chenchena prosy sa. Sabi yo mamenga sa moncho enye party asenye bibia na betim dia todwa. So na ye nkrofo ma cross carpenter omo treye de nkofo no bi last election omo de prosy ye de eye. Medical catcher say okọ the northern part of the country. There were evidence that Kennedy Agyapong recorded some as high as 222 votes in some constituencies, some of them 98, some of them 92, but they gave him 0. Yeah, they tell one of the last election, Kennedy Agyapong pulled 7% more as you did the candidate about me. And say, Obi Kassam say, Yempene, Yenim baby and I day, Essie, and Yenim the Najinaso, and Yenim the SC pay, and Yenim the Nano Ede, Essie. Intina ye can yes ye did. Na President Nicholas almost on percent near the bayou. A presidential elections committee. One more na Bruni Becker said they are clothed with the legal powers. National Council and the National Executive Committee. Two almost one election. National Council, Dr. Baumia member. Chamaun to me and Nano Castle a top down for to favor Dr. Baumia member. A brony ya the building in Japan a member of the National Council. As far as no, Dr. Bamia is a member of the National Council. Tiasem you. National Executive Committee so almost air the ever. National Council said about your mum person with home for election you never so manipulate na de bia a deal you name and tell me once about much from my power about your kuya who says supposedly they are neutral. Sir Joe Seusu, honorable. Now the source support to Dr. Bamia in the last election. But this time around no was support to Mpokra or the book council Yamani FFF. One will be until this watch so a penny. Ye is so a chairman. It was the committee that made the delegates. Sorry, meeting aspirants. Anna, one more based on evidence at one when and then normal intimate fund to drive a big party who think almost said no. The prosy was a system of abuse. And you can see a prosy among foreigners and external branches and SES abuse suma local people no external 76 na ebe ba obehwe ni abuse dia mabako for over 30,000 votes.
Hey,
ana wonim dia man eye hu kra ne the intermediaries a omu negotiate votes no. Nti se fane se prosy no fane se bugri na abudi e example na asem obeka yi. Ni afa delegates constituency bia hwahwe for mo very influential and powerful. Ni e bia the envelope akomo mo. Nti ka no for say ya ni afa ya free bia constituency hwe nipa be 200 don be to ama Dr. Baumia. And I bet usually the constituency average is about 800 averagely. In that Dominic Kwabejano almost 2,000. Averagely, have about 90% of the constituency be about 800. Well, here's our constituency is normally about 800 and that. You be a fast be a Dr. Baumia be a north or be about 200 or 300 votes. Or here the own yano near some more munina near the Macomo Hini and I say pen mobile very important and I say Nenimunyam. Oh, you crum nino no yenuano trabamano. Oh, near metal. Oh, na when you frame over to the end sign form way, what sign we be a teku an asempo 1,000, 2,000. It means where you went from. A bedroom lesson day never go for over 30,000, 40,000 votes with them. No, or the man and call for better. That is what we are seeking to prevent. And so when they create an impression, say Kenya against the external branches, that is not the case. External branches, say external branches is 0.4% of the total voter album. External branches about 1,000. What they compare to about 210,000 voter population near Kotoa. One more is just 0.4%. Now, my dear, Sebu, Omuna Kotoa Bako Krana, it may not have a solid or huge impact in the elections, which in any event we strongly believe some bomba betoma Kennedy Agyapong. It didn't what we are not against it. But party for the national presidential election committee no omo na atena say na based on evidence and some matter ni omo hu no mo say yenyi president from na compromise the integrity of the elections. Omo kan ya no all the candidates agreed. Only for about 2 months to elections, only one candidate went on the on Tiase, which is Dr. Baumia and Nkrofo a one ma kwese eyifu achi. friends external branches that is omo de omo ntiase
omo no mo show wachi
oh so omo na defend say I make a position clear say we are with this we support the presidential election committee decision omo make
but I don't pay just before you came na me Dennis Miracle Abuaje twetwe nkomo omo say sana committee ne ka wo mo gitum.
Anyway, he has no option. But I know as the deputy spokesperson, maybe they didn't share brief notes together there. And then the deputy committee, now he's disappointed in the committee, Dr. Kuyamako, because almost disenfranchising Crawford and and I can tell you, say, Maminka Samoncho, Sasano Moka, almost push it to National Council. One more fetch push it to National Council for National Council, not about me member, and Chamaun to many Abronia member to go and take a decision which will be they expect a better contrary to the decision of the Joe Wise led committee. So I mean on the face value, there's so expected of Babaka one party in Yadri. But behind the scenes, one more year Jumeti aside decision. But ahead there just last election, only 76% per 76 people pen I applied through proxy. Now the way I pay the who stands to benefit from the proxy in any event? Minya proxy no. See a cast election in the whole election proxy crowd. Even if the whole election is made proxy crowd, you still get people who will not come and vote. What is the issue? I as a hospital Juma Doctor Yejuma Manusi Sumana Sonkofo, Doctor Anya Juma Nkofo de ewu. But most important is to try to get as many doctors as you can. But we are there about Toronto, ye be polling stations, you cry or be a few cry. You still get people who will not come and vote. So what is the issue? And until I hear Kennedy Agyapong company propose to say, Sana Bayer there, I will check for no crown. We may consider same polling stations here, and more. Same polling stations so and more months. Be a MPC cabin so master nominate the Omomra. But Mamma way in your president. When him say, Obi or Tehamile, ye Juma wa, offer car, and answer offer aeroplane, abattoir, ebia and crime. On average, you compare the cost of transportation, the cost of airfare. Now you have for soon be free US and also free Germany and Europe over. And what is the issue? You say right as a member of the party, no? You have right, say in disenfranchised, you have right to vote. But remember, those rights also move with responsibilities. At this time, no, we also have to all make sacrifice of time. Obi abe free we be na ayede akoto. Obi anywhere in the polling station here there. Inti pam no channel say be compromise the and that is where reason no almost say based on evidence available and the information available to them, they strongly believe that it will compromise the integrity of the process. Why are we pushing them? Why is Dr. Baumias pushing them? Anyway.
Now, lawyer said, what we identify reasons why proxy no moon to me use what manipulation, probably be intimidation, so can can't you go for stringent measures and our systems a bit to me abua bema sa shortcomings he want me override? Oh,
sir. You also have to look at the mood of the nation and the timing and the mood of the party. A lot has changed. Say you're told about 2 years to general election. By this time around, you're told 3 years to general election. It is a Shabia crown now, it will also take time. So, and this all had 2 months to election. Now, say, and I am moi. And I make us a poison. You can say, Okas be the whole Ghana could be on your poison. I said, still a new be in the business about it. Okay, but what people also don't know, say proxy is not even in our constitution. Yes, even Ghana cry a general election proxy a election guideline. When you watch as people make it look like say I say it's a constitutional provision will be here the ebuso. Your constitution there is baby and why actual proxy wo. Baby and why actual proxy wo. A guideline. The guideline you also look at the mood of the party, the mood, and you look at the best interest of the party. The best interest of the party, no one wants to say, see the police equal see that they won't say, now there are ways that people can manipulate and abuse. Near bit maybe near coaching Timbako for answer, no so any one call for me support to do winning, near could lose general election and for sovereigns. I don't know in film. Say president will be an to be able to mobia. And now Obabeto Sabato. Now, Mr. President did last 2023 76 per year proxy from external branches. The other will be 76. What can it change? And then will be changing our proxy. Assuming if all the 1,000 are proxy, what will it change? So it should tell you, say, the interest is not really about the external branches. They are just using them as a tool to fight for what they want. But the one person a BMO be a local policy. Juba here before I best start back for about 30,000, 50,000 votes. I know they are feeding your Juma. You be a benya no one be camano. Dr. Baumia, you be no one be camano. Kennedy Agyapong, you be no one be camano. Me of a Brian Champon, one be camano. Obia do be a benya no one be camano.
But yet, where the year kwe, Mupeni Bako Professor Kwabna from Pont Boating.
Yes.
Wabon Komo. Aman Komoni Bia. Modern Ghana, they will stop at nothing in rigging the evil intended NPP flag bearer race for Baumia. Tim Kennedy or Hine Japan. What is this? Yegu Aquamua Abaha for Kra Sebi and me overlapping me Emirium.
Yes, the Owaka pen or who's so annoyed day.
Ojane.
Auntie Bassa saw down also. So. And I said, "You penfosa baby cry say, Sabada, why in Tama Cramania the Enkai."
About Azimoka, Mujutum. Say, Bibisa, course underground.
Oh, I mean Tommy party, sir.
Okay.
I mean Tommy party, sir. But the mechanic say, "Your bear she say, Massanya de Insi." And then to be a home piano. Ye treat your tokro. Ebine, he prosy over the bayer, a trio to go. Well, Mamma Gazam joke. There is no way Dr. Baumia can make 40%.
Hey.
Oh, the assembly try to for the count. Who's a bought to about 31st year we near Boba. I did first our Babu. I did first nay Sunday and to be a second. Oba also bomodui. Me say, we are prosy free me. There is no way he can do up to 40%. Until when you are poison on. Until all the loopholes we are trying to close it so that we'll have an election incident free and the votes will be election integrity is a very election will be a beja too. Until we enter hoka will not show weakness at the same time some basa but the Mrakwan so quite protected the integrity of this election.
Shall we look out for showdown 2?
Me say showdown per se, but make us say will be vigilant. Will be vigilant. Will be a benya. You are setting anti-Reagan election committee.
Really?
Oh yes, Jojo Rocky honorable on a dano. Oh yeah, Juma Monabaso. Oh yeah, Juma pa. Until Obia anti-Reagan election committee in there for Ken Kwang. Even though you are setting the what it means in this said you'll be a benya beyond the Becayamano. Dr. Brian Champonya for the Sebia 15% and one at the mano. Dr. Baumia 20% and one at the mano. Kennedy Agyapong and be 60% and one at the mano.
Lawyer, you better see no pay.
Mr. Medasapa.
Now, where the oak with the ODJ crack.
Oh, the Medija Moye at the Shredian near the Bocosodiama party for. Say a book council near Hobrase council. Kennedy and this was the who in Ano. Said you want for 2 minutes, my eye. And Tibacos was President Kufodo say because was and the say and because was so who Kennedy mobo no for 2 minutes inform at least for the next 4 years about no the 4 years that no man ko year. I mean we have the opportunity say base but I'm very confident say oba one obetima je tumi ama MPP and I need to ade hu say obebie nyuma mabunu ne maba wo no so it's menya ebia ye no so no and also because nti we dey dwato na dey si and then for videos so dey am no momoaye. And
he doesn't like emotional attachment to NPP as Professor Ekase Baumia dey like no.
O say dey Professor say Baumia like dey
emotional attachment to the NPP.
Men kan article ni na bia me kan ni ya metimi ya no.
Lawyer does that pay.
What's with that?
Ya ne lawyer Kwesi Kwaten okasa edema akompre ko Kennedy Agyapong campaign. Oye e wa mantam di nsuani na mo. Se delegate wa NPP amanyoko mu hwe so. Enyi ne se Frank Atuni no ndi omanimu corporate 2028 abaye beto e wo manyimu. Ene na bo ho nkomoyi. No ndu abo. Ken exactly 10 on Adiache be alive on OK 101.7 FM. Yabon komo ya che yenda ne ho gya bo afon krato yimra. Yaba Adiache bia the beto aso.